Fill this room with a spirit of collaboration and unity. Help us to listen with open hearts, speak with clarity, and act with integrity. May our efforts reflect your will and serve the greater good. Bless each member here with strength, patience, and grace, and let peace dwell among us all. We ask these things in thy son Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, good morning, everybody. Madam Chairwoman Cordova is out today, so y'all stuck with me. So we will go ahead and move into our timed agenda and public comments.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Frank.
Morning, I'm back. I need Frank away and I'm in 11, Tuesday for 33 years. And every time I come here, I come in good faith and talk to you guys. And this morning I got a couple of pictures that I had, that I thought I didn't have them. Anyway, I got the pictures, I didn't know about it. I would like to give, want to come in and one, to you, sir, and one to Mr. Tabor.
Give me both of those, and I'll keep one.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. I have been complaining for a long time that there has been the guy that used to live at 74, 13 in one of the RVs. He didn't have no plumbing or nothing, and the water was going down on the ground. And not too long ago, they moved. He moved to another old RV waiting on the back of the property. And so I said, I don't know how come they did that. No, they got the one that he used to live on. They got a lot of mud there, and he's going to do the same thing over there. But the thing is that I've been coming to this meeting for a long time. And really I haven't seen any response from you guys as far as alleviating the problem. And those they have a lot of junk cars. Right now at that place they got 3 RVs, and it's a mess. It's a mess. And I've been dealing with this for well, my neighbor Adam has been living here for I'm gonna say about 17 years. And from day one, I mean, he was a type of person that was going to do whatever he wanted. I had a problem with him since then, and of course he always has his bodyguard with him. And it's amazing what I see every day. Not too long ago, the welfare people came, and the first day they came, and I couldn't go into it because the gate was locked. Second time around, another one came, and I noticed that instead of Mr. Adam, instead of coming out to greet the lady, his bodyguard came out and escorted her inside the house there.
Mr. Frank, I hate to cut you off. 3-minute time limit has been reached.
I just hope and pray to God that you guys watch over those pictures. Look at those pictures, and you can see the water and the mud underneath the tree that are really. So, but anyway, thank you for letting me speak, and I hope that something can be done about this. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll continue with public comments if there's any more. Seeing none, we'll move into item 2, our service awards. take a short break out in the lobby for pictures, group pictures, and then we'll come right back. Let's move right into our trailing agenda. Item 1, approved commission meeting minutes for August 19th, 2025. Have a motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Klein? Yes. Bowen?
Yes.
Cordova? Carlson? I'm still waking up, Ernie. Carlson? Trost?
Yes.
All right. Next, we have the commission meeting minutes for the special meeting on September 4th, 2025.
So moved. Second?
The motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Klein? Abstain? Bowen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Trost?
Yes. You got it right this time.
I did.
We have the expense approval report for August of 2025. Anything that needs to be discussed further, reviewed?
I move to approve. Second?
Motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Klein? Yes. Bowen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Trost?
Yes.
And now we have the purchase card approval report for August 2025.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
Motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Klein? Yes. Bowen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Trost?
Yes. I'm wondering if you didn't second it.
All right, moving on to item number 2, the treasurer's report for July 2025. That's Crosco. This was distributed to us earlier. Any questions? Okay. We'll move into item 3, approve issuing a request for RFP for the Eddy County Courthouse exterior renovation project.
Morning, everybody. Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. This morning we have Mr. Theodore Eddy, right, with
Yeah.
Southwest Studios from Albuquerque. He's just gonna go ahead and present the Eddy County Courthouse exterior renovation plan. And then after that, we will ask for approval to request.
All right, good. Thank you again for having me. It's been a little while since I got to present here again. But my name is Theodore Eddy. I'm an architect at CBS Southwest Architects, and have been the project manager on the Eddy County Courthouse exterior renovation. So we wanted to go ahead and present our current projects of what we've completed to date. So I'll go ahead and advance to the next one here. So just to refresh everybody, I think most people are familiar with the courthouse here within Carlsbad. It's a historic building, goes back to 1890. It's a 4-story building, and we're focusing on improving the exterior renovations to the building with windows, doors, walls, looking at performance and durability. We have several features of the building that are becoming deteriorated just after, normal exposure to the weather over so many decades of use. So what we've been working on is to develop the design documentation. I think the last time that I was here and presented on this, we were in schematic design. So we've moved past design development and construction documents. So at this point, we've completed the drawings and the project manual. So we're at 100% complete. During the course of our project, we also were in coordination with New Mexico Historic Preservation Division, and in that coordination, we had multiple reviews with them, and we had a consultation to review their different requirements that they had in terms of reviewing and giving feedback for the historic renovation. So through the course of those reviews, we did receive approval through design development and construction documents. And a lot of that was to make sure that the methods that we're proposing in the construction documents are going to retain the historical character of the building. And then we're not going to be removing certain aspects of the building that are going to make it to where it's removing what makes it historic in the first place. So that consultation process went very well, and they gave us approval on the 90% documents and going into 100%. So now at this point, we are finishing up what we show as the current phase of construction documents and getting ready to go into advertisement and selection of the contractor. And then from there, we'll go and commence with construction. So from what we know of the existing building today, this is the current state of the building, what it looks like. We have stucco and the wood features, and just the methods that we used to uncover what was underneath the stucco. And we used a lot of that information to tell us how we were going to propose the new materials to go over that. We had several features that were needing to be addressed, such as windows, cracking and stucco finishes. We had windows that were deteriorating for their seals, and then concrete sills that need to be replaced, and also some areas near the roof that can give some issues if not addressed. And as I said before, it goes back to 1890, but there was a few other additions in 1930, and then some subsequent improvements after that, and several decades after that. From our initial assessment of the building, we had a total of 166 public windows. Of those, as we developed the design and in consultation with New Mexico Historic Preservation, we selected 103 of those to be restored and 63 of those to be replaced. And our finish on the exterior is that 41,000 square feet of stucco going across those 4 stories of the building. And the method that changed pretty significantly since when we worked in schematic design was we were originally proposing, where we had this system here the last time, we had an EASE system, which is an exterior insulation finishing system, which is a synthetic stucco in lay terms. And what we changed that to in consultation with Historic Preservation was to do a cement stucco plaster, so a more traditional stucco finish, and that will help to retain the qualities that you have underneath, and then let the whole wall system breathe and be able to avoid some further issues down the road. Another thing was that we made a lot more focused approach to the wood components of the building. Before we were thinking about replacing all the different wood components, but now we took a lot more careful approach to look at features that could be retained and look at if any of those could be repaired. So we have a very detailed approach inside of our construction documents now. Of those documents that have been completed, we have a stamp set of 52 pages. That is primarily all architectural sheets on a typical kind of project for new construction. We might see that to be hundreds of pages, but this is just architectural. There's not mechanical or civil drawings or structural drawings. So that's why you have less pages of the drawings, but for the project manual, we have about 229. and those have been completed within this past week. And just a quick look into what's inside those documents. This is just a little bit of what's in there of our elevations. In the drawings, we have details, and we have some demolition information there on the right with some red here. And it just goes to show you the amount of detail that we put into looking at all the different features of the windows, but also the wood components, how we have our stucco system and wood being detailed to coordinate with the existing materials that are there, and also retaining detailing that's been historic as part of the building's character as well. But that's where we are at this point. We are really excited that we've come to this point to finish up the documents, and looking forward to going out there and looking for qualified contractors and into construction. So, thank you.
Any questions?
I have a question, on getting back to the finishes, stucco finish, because that's gonna be rigid. Are we gonna experience a lot of cracking in that?
Well, the cement stucco was meant to be, I guess, more in tune with the existing cement stucco to prevent more issues like that. Their main concern was that with this synthetic stucco that it could have some more issues, that it's on top of a traditional system. But with any stucco finish, there is going to be some cracking. What you want to avoid is structural cracks that are pretty significant in width. But with that, I think we've made some pretty good steps to avoid some issues with that.
Any other questions?
And with that, we'll ask for approval of issuing the request for proposal moving forward.
So moved.
Second.
Motion in a couple seconds.
Klein?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 4, the Department of Finance Administration and Local Government Division, approval of fiscal year 25-26 Eddy County budget. Ms. Rivera.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This is just an FYI only. Per the state statute, we're required to put the approval of our final 25-26 budget in the meeting minutes, so this is just FYI.
We'll move right into number 5 for you.
Okay.
Revenue report for July 2025.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, for the July revenue report, for gross receipts distribution for the month of July was May's business activity. For oil and gas, July's distribution, it was April's business activity. Can I move this? Thank you. For gross receipts, the county collected $6.4 million for the month of July, putting us about 8% over this time last year. For oil and gas, the county collected $6.7 million for production equipment and royalties together. For business activity for April, which was July's distribution, the county produced over 27.7 million barrels of oil, averaging about $58.69 price per barrel. For gas, we had over 172.2 million units, averaging about $2.84. And just as a reminder, for this fiscal year, for oil and gas, we budgeted 22 million barrels. So we're quite a bit higher already than what we budgeted at $52 price per barrel. And gas, we budgeted 125 million units at $2 price per unit. With that, I'll stand for any questions.
Questions? For a motion to approve? Move.
Second.
Motion and a second, please call the roll.
Klein? Yes. Bowen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Gross?
Yes.
Mr. Barrett, we'll go to budget versus actuals for July revenue and expenses.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, for the July budget versus actuals, For countywide, the county collected $74.9 million in revenue. Without transfers, we collected $20.6 million. And for expenses, we expensed almost $62 million. Without transfers, we've only expensed about $7.7 million. Our transfers are $54.2 million for the fiscal year. For general fund, as of July, we received about $15.4 million in revenue, and 15.2 without transfers. For expenses, again, the county should be at about 8% for the month of July. We're quite a bit under that for general funds. It is showing $59.9 million in expenses. However, without transfers, we're about 6% expensed for the month of July for general fund.
Any questions? Look for a motion to approve budget versus actuals.
So moved. Second.
Here we go.
Klein? Yes. Owen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Prost?
Yes.
Thank you.
Move on to item number 7. Approve the safety net care pool certification of public funds for fiscal year 25-26. The first quarter, Mr. Ron Thomas.
Good morning, Commissioners. This morning I'm asking for approval on the first quarter of the safety net care pool certification.
I move we approve.
We have a motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Klein? Yes. Owen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Prost?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 8, the approval of the execution and approval of a permanent easement and surface side agreement, A25-128 to energy transfer, GC and GL pipelines as requested and approved by Sendero Carlsbad Midstream, who has issued our IRB in connection with their expansion project. Mr. Cass.
We have outstanding industrial revenue bonds that we've issued to Sendero. They have a facility location that they have been contacted by Energy Transfer and want to run a line across Sendero's property. But when we issue those industrial revenue bonds, that property is put in the county's name for the tax benefits that they get. So legal title wise, Eddy County holds the property, but it is Sendero's and that's their operation. And they've asked the county along with Energy Transfer, NGL, to go ahead and authorize and issue that easement to cross their property. And so they have to do that in order to get a valid easement. It has to be approved by the county commission as the legal title holder to that property.
So who's gonna receive the revenue for the?
I don't know whether they actually are charging them for doing it or if it's in connection with some of their project that they have on the property, but not us.
That's the only question I have. Anybody else? I'll look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second, please call for the vote.
Klein? Yes. Owen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Prost?
Yes.
Alright, then on to item number 9, the discussion of the Eddy County business licensing ordinance.
Chair, Commissioners, good morning. Approximately 4 years ago, Eddy County adopted Ordinance 21-108. This ordinance set the requirement for individuals conducting business within Eddy County to obtain a business license from Eddy County. So I provided you all with a handout, and I'm going to go over that handout, and we also have a copy of the ordinance itself. So just in terms of some of the details surrounding the ordinance, again, the ordinance was adopted in October of 21. The application fee is $25. The process is basically that when an individual wants to conduct business in Eddy County outside of the municipalities, they have to obtain a business license from Eddy County. They come to the county's community, what was the Community Services Department, now Community Development Department, submit their $25 fee, staff processes their application. Part of that process includes fire and rescue will conduct an inspection of the property of where the business will be conducted. So for instance, if an individual wants to operate a towing truck business or a wrecking business or a general electrical contracting business, fire and rescue will do an inspection of the property that's named as part of the business application. Caveat to that, if that business had previously received an inspection in the last 12 months and there was no pending fire code violations with that property, then fire and rescue doesn't have to go back out again and inspect the property. So it can take up to 30 days or more from the time that someone submits their application, fire and rescue does their inspection if an inspection is required, and then the final business license is issued. In terms of some other factors here, you can see the number of business licenses that are new and renewed. Right now, we're hovering at about 365 active business licenses. Revenue to the county off of that is about $9,100, give or take. For this calendar year, so far, 230 have been issued. I think it's worth noting, Commissioner Bowen had asked that we discuss this item, and I think it's worth noting as we looked into the history of the business license here at Eddy County. Neighboring counties do not issue or require a business license. Travis, Lee, and Otero counties, they do not require a business license. If the county commission wanted to do anything different regarding this ordinance or issuing a business license, I want to make a note that would impact Eddy County Ordinance 21-107. That also was adopted 4 years ago, and that ordinance sets the regulation requirements pertaining to regulating recreational cannabis establishments that happen within Eddy County outside the municipalities. In that ordinance, Ordinance 21-107, the cannabis ordinance, Ordinance 21-108 is referenced that establishments, cannabis establishments must comply with 21-108. So all that said, it's been 4 years since this ordinance has been on the books, and within that time, you all know that the Fire and Rescue Department was made an active full-time department, and we've had some other changes at the county regarding now the Community Development Department, and I really just want to hear from the board members on your comments, your questions regarding issuing business licenses, and there's anything else that you would like to know.
Okay. Of course, I was one of the guys on the board whenever this all took place, and the reason that we adopted this ordinance to begin with was to assist fire and rescue in being able to account for all the new businesses going in, and also find what type of businesses and what type of materials that might be on site for fire and rescue at the time. And because they were concerned that there might be some type of flammable for them if there was ever a fire or something, they had to address that. They would want to know that as long as that was one of the reasons that we adopted this ordinance to begin with.
A couple things there. One, I think that there's a reason that cities have business licenses. Zoning issues being the main reason that they have business licenses. So you don't have a trucking company on a residential street. We have no zoning in Eddy County. So the thought of a business license is honestly just, in my opinion, the government getting in the way of business. I think that anytime a new business is put in, they go through a fire inspection, they go through an inspection through an approval process to get their business established. That's all documented, that's put in our GIS layers. So that kind of cancels out the fire and rescue plan. To me, this is just a way of government, again, getting in the way of business. Something that I strongly against, something that the 3 counties around us also see. And again, I see the point and the necessity of it for the cities when you're trying to work with zoning ordinances and codes. If we don't have any zoning, I don't see the necessity of having business licenses.
Of course, I like the idea of the fire and rescue being able to know whether there's any type of contaminants or, flammable, materials on site whenever they have to go and address a fire or something like that. As far as being where we regulate any type of zoning, I don't care about that. The thing that I care about is, the safety of our fire and rescue personnel if they do have to go address a fire at a certain location, not knowing what might be on site. And there are certain businesses, I agree with Bo, there are certain businesses that won't have that type of contaminants or flammable materials on site, but there's a lot of them that will. And if that happens to be one of the sites that we have to address, then we need to know that. The fire and rescue people need to know that for their own safety. I'm not for government interference with any type of businesses, but I am for the safety of our personnel.
So are we, say there's a call out to Lakeside Mead, because I can see it. When that call out comes in on 911 dispatch to fire and rescue, is any of that information utilized?
Well, the thing about it is that, you know, of course, the meat over here it's within the city limits. This was only for.
Well, okay, so outside of city limits, if there's a call out to Colorado Springs Dairy.
Why don't we ask an expert, Ms. Bambi, can we speak to this?
Sure. So
Ms. Bambi is the director of regional
This is what happens when you're.
dispatch authority, so thanks for showing up. You get
Yes.
roped into this.
yes, so each year Jennifer with the Office of Emergency Management collects those data material sheets, and those are provided to Rita for use in dispatch. So that's for every business, I believe, out in the county. That information can be loaded into our CAD and is available to first responders through their MDT for viewing en route to the call.
How does she know about those businesses to begin with, to collect data from them?
She is required each year, and maybe county manager can speak better to
So
this.
part of it is just the meetings that she has, and she meets with the different businesses that have training programs and safety programs in place. That's partly it. Particularly like some of the larger companies like Chevron or Oxy or some others, they'll contact her and her office will contact them for, training purposes to deal with any type of incident that they have on site.
And I believe through OSHA, they're regulated to provide those material data sheets to the Office of Emergency Management.
So we don't, this current resolution is not like imminent to that information. It's not, you're not collecting that information because we have that ordinance, because we have a county business license.
No, mine comes through Office of Emergency Management.
Okay.
The cannabis rule was, I'm trying to remember, was that language not because of some sort of state statute that they had certain limitations on how those businesses could operate and where and that kind of thing? Did we impose all of that?
Yeah, so, Chair, Commissioner Klein, there are, restrictions within the cannabis ordinance. Some of those items, the state kind of set the parameters on how strict or what the counties may or may not enforce. Like how far away from a school or different types of establishments or a church. Within that ordinance, it just says that you have to comply with this ordinance. So if a change were to happen to this ordinance or anything, it would just be another factor that we'd have to amend this ordinance as well.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm all good with not having that ordinance if we have a mandatory reporting of all toxic and flammable materials on site at any of the businesses in Eddy County.
Businesses that have toxic or flammable materials on site are regulated. Anytime you bring those on, you have a regulation process through NMB. That's filed with the state.
Yeah, but does that get down to our fire and rescue? That's the thing that I care about.
Hearing yes.
From my understanding, yes, we do get that information, and I do know the fire rescue still goes out and does checks as part of their training as well.
And how do you disseminate that whenever they're on an emergency trip?
It is an attachment inside of their CAD, their record of call, for incident command to be able to access to make those choices on how to respond.
Is there anything connected to addressing or anything like that in this business license or?
The address is there, yes. And, one other thing to point out, especially when we're talking about fire and rescue, because that seems to be the biggest holdup here, is fire and rescue's doing inspections regardless of business license. Part of what they do is they find different buildings that may or may not have a business license that either show up in the county or they're noticed in the county. And they'll go in and do an inspection. I wish Deputy Chief Zuniga was here to kind of speak to that, but that is the process. They will do an inspection, drop in whether or not there is a business license.
Can we hear from the fire department how they're addressing that?
So, like Commissioner Bowen was saying, we do go out, we do life safety inspections at this different, the guys are basically looking for businesses or the hazards when they're cruising around. They go out, they see the hazard, they will stop in and they go in and talk to the business owner and they'll ask them, hey, can we just walk around and look? Can you guys give us a tour of what you got? If we notice anything, it is, like Ms. Bambi was saying, it is put in the CAD system.
Okay,
So
so
we
you're not
automatically-
concerned so much about businesses, about being unknown toxic or flammable materials that might be on site when you address it, when you have to be called out to the fire?
There's always a concern. There's always that concern that something's gonna be there, but I can't tell you if it's gonna be there or not. If they're not reporting it, nobody's gonna know it's there, right? If I go out and I do an inspection and I find it, then I can let everybody know. There's always gonna be a concern that there's gonna be
You're
something
gonna
that
do
shouldn't
that,
be.
you're gonna do that inspection whether or not there's an ordinance.
Yes. Those are life safety inspections that we do. I mean, I gotta try to keep my guys safe, and that's one of the things that we push is you gotta go out in the community and you gotta do these inspections and just look for, you see a huge pallet yard. Okay, why do they have a pallet yard? What are they bringing in on those pallets? You don't just have a pallet yard because you want pallets. What are you bringing in? So we wanna go out and we wanna figure out, okay, why do you have so many pallets? And we do get a little kickback. Sometimes the companies are like, whoa, we don't wanna do this. And it's like, okay, I can't force them to do this. I mean, they're gonna ask us to leave, and then, of course, I get Chief Zuniga involved, and he goes out and does his thing. Then we're allowed back in, but there's always a concern that there's gonna be something there. And the ordinance, to me, there's always a concern, but there's gonna be a concern without
So
the
it really
ordinance.
doesn't help you. I mean, because you guys are the ones that come to us and was in favor of this ordinance when it was originally adopted. That's the reason I'm asking the question. So if it's not a concern to you, then it's not a concern to me. But I wanna know that, how you guys, what your stance is.
And I'd really like to be able to push this off on.
And we could come back at another board meeting. Chief Mack was out for travel, so was Zuniga.
Because my whole concern is the fact that they came to us at that time when we adopted this ordinance and they were in favor of it, so that they could have a better control of what was on site. Now, if that's not a concern to them anymore, then there's no use to have the ordinance.
I think, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Carlson, Commissioners, one of the items that has come to my attention is sort of a couple things. One, what you said, Commissioner Carlson, you know, they're getting an inventory of what's on site. And you know, there's nothing, that's a good thing to know what's on site. But beyond that, what's also, I think occurring is that when fire and rescue goes to a business site, they're inspecting the business not just to know what's on site, but they're inspecting it to see if they're in compliance with the fire code. So that includes like lighting at the entrance. That includes the number of, say, fire extinguishers within an area. Whether the exit sign is properly lit within the building. All good things, I'm not saying they're not. So as they go out there, they're getting that inventory of chemicals and materials out there, but then they're also doing this, is that accurate? Inspecting the property for fire code compliance. And I think that's what is what has been, I think, Commissioner Bowen, you shared, or what has been somewhat of a concern expressed by some of the property owners is, I can't get my business, I came in to get my business application, and now I'm having to put up another exterior light at the driveway of my building so I can get my business license. And I think that's where part of the concern lies, is that.
Well, one of the original members that was helped in passing this ordinance was one of the ones that reached out to me and questioned of this, why do we do this? Because of the extra emphasis that was put on some things that are not near what you're discussing, so.
Well, like I said, my concern was because the fire and rescue, the ones that came to it, if they're not concerned, I'm not concerned. But I wanted to hear it from them that they're not concerned before I would sign off on something that they had asked for to begin with.
Understood.
Would you all like for this to come back at the next meeting as a discussion or anything else?
If he's assured that that's the stance of the fire department, I have no problem with it.
I would really like to give Chief Zuniga the opportunity to speak on this.
I spoke to Chief Mack, and what he shared was, you know, something very similar in that they have that information, they don't, but we can certainly have them come and talk about that at the board meeting. That's what the board would like to have more of a thorough discussion. Or if you all want to rescind the ordinance or modify it, it's up to the board.
I think if we're gonna do anything, we ought to rescind it.
Then we have to modify the campus.
You would then have to modify that as well, I believe, Cass,
We would.
because it's mentioned by ordinance number, so we would have to do that.
I would like to see that rescinded and the 021-107 modified, but if we could have it on as an action item for the next commission meeting, that way we have all 5 board members here, and we can also have Chief Mack here to speak on it.
I understand the process is you can't just rescind it, you've gotta do it just like it was passed, you have to propose a rescission, repeal of that ordinance, modification to the other ordinance that would be put on after you do the proper notice and have a public hearing to do that, so it's gonna take till November to get all that done.
Or December.
If you pass it in October.
Yeah.
So, and I can get all those ready, to where you can have the amendment to the one and the repeal of the other. If you decide not to do it, I'll just look away.
Anything else?
All right.
Thank you.
Alright, we will move into item 10, the resolution and agreement consent agenda. Does anybody have anything on there that they'd like to pull for further discussion? No?
Not for me.
I'll look for a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, please call for the vote.
Klein,
Yes.
Owen,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Yes.
Alright. Now moving to item 11, travel request consent agenda. Do we have any questions or further discussion for any of those items? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve. So moved.
second,
Motion and second, please call for the vote.
Klein,
Yes.
Owen,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Gross,
Yes.
We have no emergency business. Do we have any legislative comments, announcements, or updates? Alright, move into department head updates. Treasurer update, Ms. Patsy.
Good morning, Chair, Commissioners. I was gonna go over a few updates that we have. In the Artesia office, we are currently having it remodeled in there. The drive-through area is complete. It already had a bulletproof window. They added bulletproof sheetrock and the window, around the window area, and also the back door entrance. The front lobby area is complete with bulletproof walls, including the tile and paint. The front counter, the base of the front counters have been installed. Countertops are next. Waiting for the bulletproof glass to be installed at the front counter area and the electrical. And this is all being done for added security and safety. It should be completed by October the 10th. If you have some time, stop by and check out the new office. So, and also I wanted to let y'all know we do have a new office manager. Sonia Soto. Some of you might know her. She previously worked here in finance. We are now fully staffed and getting ready for the tax season.
Thank you, Patsy.
You're welcome. I was just gonna let you know, also currently my employees are taking EDGE classes. Some are working towards their treasury certification. And myself, Tina and Sonia did attend the Treasurer's Affiliate in Santa Fe last month. And it was very informative. We got to meet other treasurers and staff, and we're ready for our next conference in January in Santa Fe. Thank you.
Thank you. Public Works and Hazer.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I have a few updates for us on some of our roads we've worked on. To date, we have completely redone right at 30 miles of road. I think it's like 29.97 miles, the way it adds up. So right at 30 miles, we have another 12 planned here to complete by into chipping weather this year. So we're looking at doing roughly 42 miles of road total this year. That's from April till into chip seal season. In the middle of that too, with the floods and that sort of thing. So that kind of slowed us down a little bit, but we're back on our feet and running again. So that's where we're at. Environmental updates, our Loving transfer station is up and running for the public. They are, it's working really well actually. We've had a lot of input. Several people, it took a minute. The first week was kind of slow. Slowly it's beginning to pick up business, so.
I want a personal thank you for that. Helped my phone calls immensely.
Good. So we actually, our transfer station tech, we still have him going to the convenience station. He's like, no, y'all come up here and come dump on this. And I think for so long they were trained, that you go to the back, just don't use this front thing. And so it's just getting that word out there that we need to move forward. Get that word out there that you can come over here. It's okay. You can come over here now. So, that once again, that is not open for businesses. We don't have scales there to weigh in, weigh out, and a clerk there on staff. But it is an opportunity for the southern region down here to have a tipping station. We have the one in Artesia, Artesia's tipping station that's ran by the city. That's kind of that, and Loving's kind of the south, and then of course we have Sandpoint in the middle. So that's kind of the way we're looking at that. The landfill tipping stations, tried to move, I've done some adjustments out there and trying to get everyone that I can off of our, off the actual piles. So everything that I can dump, you know, that's not gonna damage our equipment, hurt anybody, anything like that, they're dumping on our tipping station. We've kind of changed operations of that. We had some concerns on that, that county manager helped me address, and so we're looking at that. I did take a tour of the Cruces landfill, and transfer station, and have some ideas, and I'll be coming with those in the near future, to kind of address and look at doing some safety. It will very much help our safety out there.
And reduce weight and reduce lines.
Reduce lines, that is a tremendous issue out there. So there's a few more, things coming down the line for that, so. Our vector updates, we're still fogging and working on weed control, this year, kinda. The weeds sprung, and spoke to Commissioner Troost, and it's been a year for weeds for us, so that's been a obstacle for our vector department, but they're tackling it as quick as they can.
Is there a county weed ordinance? Weed control?
Is there a nuisance ordinance?
I think there is.
I would have to, not off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you that answer.
There is.
There is?
Well, there is.
Not widely used, but there's one.
Once again, keeping the weeds down, it'll just remind the public, keeping the weeds down is gonna help keep your mosquitoes down. Standing water right now is breeding season for mosquitoes, so they're very active right now, especially with this weather kind of cooling off a little bit. They're moving a little more. It's not so hot for them, so we're always looking for that first freeze. Not this early, but we're looking for that first freeze that kind of halts it for just a second for us. So. Any questions for me?
I just want to personally thank you for Thomason Road. It made a big difference. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Otis Water actually took care of that. So.
I knew that.
Yeah. I contacted them, and when they were working on Derrick Road, they went over and used some of their hot patch and patched that. So.
Yeah.
They actually cut it out, it was dry, and they fixed it. So.
Every day I drove over that, and every day I got ticked off, and now I can drive over, you don't even feel it, so it's great.
Understand.
I appreciate your quick response to so many things that I had to reach out to you for this.
Yes, sir.
This summer, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And thanks for setting that roll off and, over there near Mr. Frank's house, as well as getting the vector and mosquito spray over there.
Yes, sir.
Really appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Anything else for me? All right, have a great day.
Into our fire and rescue update.
Chair, Commissioners. So August update, we had for August 365 calls for the month. Compared to August of last year, we only had 263 calls, so we're seeing quite a bit of an uptick. Right now, we're at about 13% increase in calls running on the year compared to last year. Some of the staffing and licensure update that we have, we went to the fire days in Albuquerque. That was a pretty good hit. We took the prevention trailer and the heavy rescue down there. We were kind of the talk of the town for having both of those units there. It's kind of interesting. We just completed swiftwater rescue training with 3 different classes. We paired up with Lincoln County, Chaves County, Artesia, and Carlsbad Fire. Had all of them come in. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do our Swiftwater 2 training. We don't have the terrain and the water flow that we need for that. Right now we have 5 individuals on the department that are trying to advance from basic to intermediate. It's gonna be a whole semester in school for them. That's gonna bring our numbers up. Right now we have 8 paramedics, 12 advanced EMTs, and 24 basic EMTs. This has probably been the first time in the department that I've seen everybody on the department is certified. So, any questions?
That's great. good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, hear from Ms. Bambi for Rita.
Chair Commissioners, thank you. I just wanted to bring a few items to your attention that Rita's been working on. One of them being the intelligent lead policing. That's in conjunction with Eddy County Sheriff's Office. They will be the first in the state of New Mexico to complete this project. And it's aligning the communications through all the law enforcement agencies in New Mexico. And Rita had a big hand in this. We actually wrote the pilot script for the intelligent lead policing in conjunction with New Mexico State Department of Public Safety. Also next month in October, we'll be conducting our second tech town hall. It'll be a Rita and Artem sponsored free training for IT, GIS, or public safety. So if you know of anyone that needs to get some training, it is free for anyone in the county of Eddy. I wanted to talk about one of the wins we had in the last few months. Rapid SOS is a platform that was developed and given to PSAPs around the nation for free. And we've been using this product for about 3 years now. It delivers real-time location information based on GPS rather than cell site towers. And we did have a call where we could hear someone in distress. All that they could say was that they were by the river. Using this technology, we were able to find them. That was a victim of domestic violence, and they were able to arrest the suspect. We're looking at expanding our Rapid SOS products to include more technology as well to help us have more of those wins. And the last thing I wanted to speak about is Smart 911 is a project that is in conjunction with the City of Carlsbad, County of Eddy, and City of Artesia. And Rita has promoted the Smart 911 at the Eddy County Fair, National Night Out, Artesia Public Schools Meet and Greet, and National Senior Day. It's a very good product. It works to help us get information from the public on mental illness, health conditions, to better aid our first responders when they're en route to the scene. As well, we partnered with the alerts system through RAVE, and it allows our citizens to sign up for emergency alerts. So I'll leave some information here if anyone is interested in the Smart 911 or the Tech Town Hall. I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you for the update. Appreciate it. To detention, Ward Massimo.
Good morning, team commissioners. Quick little update. With the detention facility we had, last month's average is about right, 230 individuals that were arrested. ASU has 250 in Carlsbad, about 172 in Artesia. Those guys are seeing people often, daily. New detention update, we had a meeting last week, kind of went over FF&E, those kind of layouts and those kind of styles, and what we want to bring into the whole complex or the whole area. We would be probably having a 90% meeting, not for sure how far out, but that's on the horizon first. Working with the Zelma through one of the advocacies we have here, they had gotten a grant and wanted to come into the jail and look at it, some parenting courses for those that are in the jail and then transitioning out from the jail. So we had a meeting with them, and then we also toured their very impressive area that they have over. Lastly, we have a radio update. Kudos to Chris Chavarria as well as Josh Mack. We finally got everything programmed done. Had a little hiccup with our vehicles. We're getting that fixed today, but that project is done. We greatly appreciate the upgrade with those devices. It's very helpful. So, any questions?
Thank you. Jennifer is out, so we'll move into IT. Jason.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. For our updates, Fabian Gomez from Sandpoint, the Sandpoint manager, he spoke of some of the problems he was having like having to go back and forth or around the lot with this laptop, and that if he could connect with Wi-Fi, it would be great. So we put Wi-Fi for this trailer. I mean, putting Wi-Fi is not a huge accomplishment, but it kind of highlights IT's commitment to solving inefficiencies of our users and the public, especially. And also the other item there is we put some new network equipment at the South Road office. It's just part of a refresh kind of thing we do. And lastly, we had some members of our staff go to Mexico Tech Summit in Albuquerque last week. It was Andrew, Rosie, and Mark. And they were able to meet with some vendors and also other IT industry people. And they brought back some ideas that I think it's gonna help us out, especially towards AI. And really happy that they got to go to that. You have any questions?
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. Next, we have Ms. Anna Vasquez for HR.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'd like to introduce you to Miss Megan Bowie. She's our new generalist. She just came on board yesterday. So, this is her. She comes with a good HR background, so she's gonna be a big help to us at HR. So we're happy to have her. Let's see here. Okay, so my updates for August, our applicant tracking system, which is Clear Company, site visitors that we actually had hits on our website, was 9,228. Year to date is 65,856. HR staff processed 363 applications in August. We also conducted 31 interviews in August as well. Our time to hire as of 8/31 is averaging about 44.3 days. We're looking at trying to get that lower. New hires for August, we had 3. Year to date, we've had 66 new hires. Resignations, terminations, retirements, we've had 5. Year to date at 55. Our current vacancy rate as of August 31st is 23.38%. And our average turnover rate, year to date is 14.68%. Of course, I introduced Megan already. I also attended the Southern New Mexico SHRM annual law update in Las Cruces. A lot of good information. A lot of attorneys are talking on some case law and stuff, so that's gonna be real beneficial. Also, I'm conducting a review of our current onboarding practices to ensure effectiveness, increase new hire engagement, increase employee retention, and ensure that these processes align with our goals. So, working hard in HR, I'm just happy to get more staff, so. Okay, any questions for me? That's a lot, okay. Thank you.
I have Ms. Jasmine Sosa from Facilities.
Good morning again. So facilities had in our system 33 work orders, not including any email updates or requests. We're also kind of working on trying to find an easier system so that way it's quicker for them to put in work orders. Lawn care is being addressed at all of our locations. Like Hazer said, we're trying to get a handle on all of that, but it's been kind of crazy. Our team had finished the relocation of the new mailroom, so they moved that back to the former HR office. They painted and upgraded that, and then with the previous one, they're trying to do upgrades and installing blinds and stuff to make that a little office space for whoever needs. Right now, the health office is undergoing a couple of upgrades. They're upgrading the light fixtures, the ceiling tiles, and the insulation. So that should hopefully be completed Friday. As Ms. Patsy said, the Artesia's Treasure is undergoing some of the security upgrades. We actually were able to assist the courthouse with the judge office relocation, with Sugar Greg leaving a couple, all the judges relocated, so we were able to help them paint, just kind of get everything looking good for them and assisted with any furniture movement that they needed. The last the detention center, we finally got the upgraded HVAC units, so they should be good to go until they're moved, hopefully, you know, knock on wood, everything goes good with. And then I just wanted to give a big thank you to Warden, Jason, and Jennifer for their assistance with the health office move. They were helping us to make sure everything was run smoothly, so that way the department can keep working out of their normal. And then also, I kinda wanted to add, I'm sorry, we got a call the other day with Happy Valley, Miss Shirley at the Happy Valley Park. She was very happy to know that the park is being fully used. So I did take a drive down there the other afternoon and it was full. There's a bunch of football teams going around. She did address a couple of issues that were there, and I do know that the lights were one of them. We're getting that corrected. We're installing trash cans this week for them until we finally get the park, the playground equipment installed and everything, and then for the dogs. So they are good to go from that. But other than that, that's all I have.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Nope. Thank you.
Finance, Roberta?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Good morning again, commissioners.
Good morning.
So for finance, I started providing some of this information for accounts payable, P cards, and payroll. If it's useful to you guys, I'll continue doing it. Just kind of shows you how many transactions we do and the amount of money that goes out for each one of those. The other thing is we do have a couple active solicitations out. We still have ours for the car wash services for countywide. That one should be coming to a close, and then our public safety psychology services are out as well, and then hopefully we'll be putting out a solicitation for the courthouse exterior here pretty soon. Other than that, we're still working on our audit, we're still working on our budgeting software, which we're hoping to roll out for next budget year, so those will be ongoing things until December probably. Lastly, I just want to give a special thank you to the finance team, especially Jessica Steiger. She's our senior assistant finance director. She's really stepped up lately in a leadership role. I've had to be in and out of the office quite a bit for the last several months, so I just really want to give a thank you to her and all my team. I know a lot of times us as directors tend to get a lot of the credit for the things that happen in this county, but all the credit, you know, is definitely given to those that work behind the scenes. They really do a fantastic job, and I have to believe I have the best team here in the county, so I just want to give them a special shout out. So that's all I have.
Awesome,
Thank you.
Now Ms. Deborah with Community Services.
Good morning. So I'm gonna report on, community development first. So they did approximately 30 business licenses. They were processed, both renewed and new, and this is for the month of August. In collaboration with fire services, approximately 40 to 50 business licenses were dispatched, indicating their compliance. These licenses pertain to applications that were received in the past few months and are currently undergoing inspection. 5 new addresses were assigned and 3 permits for manufactured homes were issued. 4 exemption plats were reviewed and approved, along with 1 summary division for Faro Estates. For the DWI program, a DWI staff member successfully completed all required trainings and classes, earning a counseling license issued by the state of New Mexico. DWI staff finalized the DWI school renewal application, and it was submitted to traffic safety for approval. The DWI program is in the planning stages for the 2025 law enforcement tribute, which is scheduled to take place Thursday, August the 4th. For indigent health services for the month of August, there were a total of 31 inmate medical claims. Veronica has been working with the detention medical staff to verify each inmate's custody status at the time medical services are provided. For motor vehicle division, They passed their audit in, August without any findings or discrepancies, reflecting full compliance. They also, gave good feedback on Angela. She's the new, program manager, saying how she stepped up to the plate and has been doing a great job in her, new position. Motor vehicle conducted video interviews, in August, and they are, fully staffed. For, service provider partnerships, I reached out to several of the service providers, to schedule a meet and greet. The first meeting was rescheduled due to multiple, organizations wasn't able to meet. And so now we have a meeting scheduled for October the 1st. I am currently working on a behavioral health planning grant application offered through the administrative office of the court. This grant supports each behavioral health region in identifying key priorities, engaging stakeholders, and developing a phased implementation plan that addresses urgent needs while promoting long-term sustainability. So that's what I have going on. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Ms. Devlin.
Thank you.
So now we'll move to county manager's comments.
I just want to express my appreciation and a big thanks to everyone involved in working with the United Way for the Day of Caring. That was pretty cool. It's great to see the elected officials out there and the staff, and that's all I have.
Move to commissioner's comments. Commissioner Trost.
Not a lot, just good job for Carlsbad getting really close to 10, that was awesome. Loving's doing great,
Wow.
so are the Bulldogs. Real nice, Centennial's a tough team.
Yeah, they're a good team.
They are.
Yeah. And Carlsbad played hard, that was a good game. Who could have said that?
Backhanded compliment.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Henry.
Let's get away from the,
Yeah, Commissioner I didn't see the game, so Artesia, was pretty busy with, kind of associated with the air races, and, I think the air races went well. I hope that you felt some impact down. In fact, we know that some of the visitors to the air races did stay down in Carlsbad, and there's been a lot of positive feedback on social media and from the racers and potential racers and all of that, so I think they'll be back next year stronger and bigger and better, and the Thunderbirds will be here next year. So dates will be released soon if you haven't already figured them out, and next September. So, and I think the whole county will feel it more next year.
Awesome. Commissioner Carlson?
On a very serious note, it's come to my attention here recently that the NMDOT pulled 2 projects in our area, one of them in my district, because they issued a PO in violation of the state procurement code. And so in an effort to mitigate their liability on it, they have pulled both of those projects and moved it to another part of District 2. So I just hate to hear that, because the project that was in my district was going to be on 285 and would have tied on to the new construction at the 31-285 intersection, which is, as you know, is in bad need of remediation on that highway. And so for them to have made an error like that and to then pull the project rather than to complete it, doesn't help us down here.
I'll keep everything pretty brief. After the last commission meeting, we all got to go down and take a tour of the prison, and I really think that we do it every year, but it just kind of highlights what we have going on there, and I really appreciate the warden for setting all that up and taking the time to actually have some inmate interviews, if you will, for us. I think that was good stuff for us to see. Last week participated with the United Way Day of Caring. That was a great turnout all around, and just cool to see how many people in Carlsbad and Artesia showed up to help the cause. Next week I will be in Santa Rosa attending the New Mexico County's meeting. Just wonderful, beautiful, big cities across the state. So looking forward to that. And I think that's all I got. So we will now move to executive session. It says the board may go into executive session in accordance with the State of New Mexico Open Meetings Act, section 10-15-1H, which authorizes the Board of County Commissioners to go into executive session to discuss threatened or pending litigation. So do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Klein?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Probst?
Yes.
What do we think, Cass?
30 minutes?
30 to 45.
Okay, so it's 9:47, we'll say
10:30. By 10:30.
we'll return at 10:30.
By 10:30.